I never knew who I was. I was wearing metaphorical masks because I was bullied really bad when I was younger, really bad. And I carried that with me up until then, until I figured it out. And I would put masks on just so I could fit in, just so I could not be bullied, not be hurt. I'm like, okay, pretend to be this person, pretend to be that person. And when I realized I was doing that, I was like, who is that woman in the mirror? I didn't know her. Like, who is that reflection looking back at me in that mirror? To not know who's staring back at you when it's you, it is terrifying. It terrified me. So I spent so much money and time on me, filling myself up, removing the boulders, all the BS, the belief system that was blocking me to align and figure out who I truly am and what my true purpose is in life, which is to help others do the same. There's so much I didn't know that was an option. There's so many of us that don't even know that we are the ones holding ourselves back. And most of the time that's it. So I'm just grateful. I'll be honest, like when I started writing this book, after I was done writing, I was like, do I want to publish it? I was off and on because there's a lot of negativity in there. And, where focus goes, energy flows. And I keep my focus on what's good, what's positive, what's light. And I was scared because I'm putting some darkness out there. But there's a lot of people still stuck in that darkness. I can still remember those feelings and the thought that this book has the potential to help even one person. That was it. I had to publish it. And I know that it's a great tool and guide. I have so many tips and tricks that help me heal. We need to heal. And I just want to help others heal.
I love that. I love your story. Like just like the resiliency, like as I was going through your story about like getting to the process of having to have that surgery and then your life literally being like changed from what you wanted it to be. And I just was like, I need to have you on my show. Like I just got like, whoo, I just really felt that right now. And so many of us, like you say, we just don't realize we have choices. We don't realize that the rug will get pulled from under us. And I've spoke so much about that on my own show because my life, I think I'm doing one thing and then the universe is like, oh yeah, baby, we got another story. We got another plan for you. We're just going to go this way. And just getting to that point of like the surrender, I think is so like, it's so life shattering, but also like it gives you that strength to like, okay, now what? Like, here's my bottom. Now what? Where am I going to go?
Yeah. And that's that feminine energy to allow and surrender. And I blocked off that feminine energy pretty much my whole life. Like I was wearing that masculine mask so I could move ahead in life and really achieve and get where I needed to go. And when I realized that masculinity, that's all I knew, when I put on that feminine mask and I really embraced it, the power within our feminine energy, the masculine's good, but I'm telling you, tapping into that feminine divine, ooh, baby, that's the magic there. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've been the same, like so driven and like forceful masculine energy where it was really not the healthiest place, right? And as well, like I've been in this journey of like, what would it look like if I just allow my feminine to have more space? And I think that it is so powerful. We have both energies inside of us, by the way. So if you're a man watching this, like you have both energies as well. However you identify, it's not about gender.
Exactly.
But I just want to bring it back to when you were sharing about like negativity. The way that I view it is like we have contrast within us. So like we have the light and we have the dark and the shadows that we just tend to like push away. I think that it's when we acknowledge them, and by you putting this in the book, it's like so relatable. Like we're going to link this in the show notes, by the way. Like you need to get this. She's got tools and all the things to just help you see, like lift the veil, take the masks off, and that's scary when, as you said, that was like a coping mechanism. So many of us have maladaptive coping mechanisms. And so I think like, good on you for just being that brave, courageous, bold version of you to just, that's it. Like, I'm tired of my own shit and I'm going to change my life.
Oh, 100%. And you know what really helped push me through that is realizing with every moment of darkness, it's connected to a blessing. Every loss is connected to a blessing. I lost my career, my job, but I was blessed to have a career and job. There's so many people out there that wish to experience. I got to experience that. The loss of a parent, the loss of a friend. We need to focus on the blessing. So many of us are stuck in that loss and what we no longer have. We need to change our focus on what we did have and the blessing within that. That'll change your entire life. Yeah.
I feel like in our society, we don't talk a lot about grief and we don't talk a lot about endings. But the truth is, the minute we take our first breath, we're already dying.
That's right.
Like, this is already happening. And so we just think everything's going to stay everything's going to stay constant. And the only constant is change. Like everything is very fluid. There's nothing that's going to stay as is. And I feel like the more we allow our human experience to talk about the grief, talk about the change, talk about having to just let it fall apart as it needs to. Mm-hmm. And then what gets to come from that?
Exactly. Yeah. It's breaking apart. When there's destruction, that means there's creation. You want to celebrate when the destruction happens. Ooh, baby, the creation is coming. It's making space for that new. So you want to celebrate when you feel you're down and out. You spirit, there is something big coming for me. I'm so grateful and I'm ready. You celebrate when you are in those hard times, because I'm telling you, the beauty and magic is in knowing that no matter where you're at, there's always something good on the other side. You're guided. I believe it in my very core.
100%. And like the pain, like we are so afraid to face the pain. But the thing is like, I feel it's the resistance to the pain that causes more pain. Just like when people say the truth hurts, it's actually the resistance to the truth that hurts. It's just like getting a splinter. That doesn't feel good. Like you got to pull that out. If you ever got one really deep, it is not pleasant, but you pull it out. So it's just like we have splinters kind of like in our soul, and we're just trying to like don't poke around at it, but we just need to get in there, literally. Mm-hmm. That's the way I believe it as well, and just face it. It's that resistance and that rejection that creates that energy around it of like not feeling good.
Well, the fastest way to suffering is arguing with reality. Like, this is happening, you're in it, you can't say it's not happening. And so many of us do it. Yes. We are arguing with what's the truth that's really going on. We need to accept and allow and recognize the beauty that's within that. I've really put my focus on what good can come from this. I've really put my focus on what good can come from this and focus on that good. And it's helped pull me through some darkness for sure.
Yes. And like, just like we said, like the contrast, right? And so like, that means you're still alive. I think that the only problem that humans have is the fact that they think they shouldn't have problems. And it's like reworded to what are the opportunities of stretching right now? Like, you think of a seed that's going to grow, like it splits right apart. That doesn't seem pleasant,
Exactly.
And I've had conversations with clients saying, if caterpillars and like everything in the universe has a season, a cycle, we are part of that. And so like, if we even take it down to the smallest thing, like a caterpillar getting ready to go in the chrysalis, right? In the cocoon, if caterpillars had the mind of humans, they would be like, yo, bro, don't go in that thing. Because whatever's in there is going to eat you. And then that's it. It's the end of you. Caterpillars just trouts. They just go in, they melt, they liquefy. They got to eat their own legs to stay alive. Like that does not seem pleasant. But then they get to the other side and they have this beautiful metamorphosis. Like how incredible, like, so I'm just like liquefied a butterfly, like,
Oh, 100%. That's their hero journey, and they go for it without a doubt. And there's so many of us that avoid the hero's journey because of that. You have to go through the grit. You have to feel the pain. You need those experiences in order to move forward and live in that beauty. Because without that experience, you're not going to really know what you're talking about. You have to just be. Yeah.
Just surrender. Oh, this is so powerful.